when we start putting things out into the universe, when we start manifesting, we want to be clear on what it is that we're doing with that. How we're using those tools. That's a tool in your toolkit. Prayer, that's a tool in your toolkit. Writing it down, that's a tool in your toolkit. So use that intentionally, you know, and then watch it happen. I know it can be hard. It's like, oh, like it feels kind of up in the air. I'm telling you, I experienced this in my life.
Madison, you are inspiring all of us. And in the comments, everyone is just giving you wonderful, wonderful feedback. Very well said. So true. Shoulder shaky. We love that. Thank you so much. Everyone's quoting you too, leading with love. Take it even further together. So thank you so, so much. And I'm going to open up the floor for anyone who has any questions.
Hey, my name is Joy, by the way. I'm BSU president for the moment. So that's me. I had a question because I know we were talking about it in a past BSU meeting, but a lot of kind of the conflicts that us as Black people specifically trying to work our way up in the industry and also even trying to pave our own way is that we tend to do these like internships and stuff like that, but we've noticed that a lot of internships just want you to work and want you to do all the work for them, because we're kind of sometimes in cases we're kind of smarter than some of the other people because we're like doing social media and know the algorithms and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But how do you differentiate between working for somebody and maybe them even exploiting you versus like doing an internship and it's like you're actually getting something from it? Because, you know, I know you got to work for free sometimes and you got to work your way up. And you know, you did that for a little bit, but it's like, you know, at the end of the day, some people need money and some people are like, I don't want to just keep working and stuff like that. So how would you navigate that?
So what I would start first is look at your foundation. I know for me, when I was working for free, it was because I had nothing on my resume. I had no fallback. Look at the work I've done. I was young. It was 2017. I had just finished a year at Howard University. I knew I wanted to go into fashion, and there was an opportunity at Elle for an internship. And child, the magazines don't pay you nothing. They don't even pay the white girls nothing. So you know they wasn't gonna give you no money, right? And so, but one thing I will say is, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. I got to work with other people that have supported me now into my career, and now I don't have to work for free. So I would say start with, sometimes we do have to sacrifice and struggle and strive, but that doesn't mean that 3 years into your career with a resume that's extensive or becoming extensive, that you're working for free, right? If someone's starting at the bottom level, I would say be a little bit more open to it. Don't allow yourself to get exploited. And I honestly don't feel like anyone should, but that's the reality of the industry we're in, right? I can't say that the tide is going to change overnight. I think everyone should get paid, but just to be real, you know, if you're starting at that level where you have no experience, be a little bit more open to it. And then here's the thing, show up in excellence in such a way that now they want to pay you. And if they want to keep you, they have to pay you. Put the value on your work. You know what I mean? You did it for probably 6 months. Okay, this was great. Like the Gross Sisters, just a handout. Like, you know what I mean? Don't allow anyone to continue to exploit you. But sometimes we do have to be comfortable with learning, interning, and doing things for free to get to the place that we want to go. But have a game plan though. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this for 6 months and then I'm gonna pivot into this position, you know? And then also when you know your work and you have extensive results of that work, this is my worth. So if you want me to come on board and be a part of your team, this is what it is. You know what I mean? Don't compromise on what you know you bring to the table. Because they know too, that's why they want you. So don't let them play you either.
Noted, because I've been working in this company for a year and I'm like, all right, I'm over it. I need to be getting, you know, paid more and everything. So thank you for that.
And also to maybe talk to if you have a mentor or somebody, talk to them about how to position that conversation, right? Someone who has a little bit more context than me around your situation, how to position that conversation, because a year, you know what I'm saying, now is the time. Like, you know, and don't be afraid. Also, too, guys, don't be afraid of rejection. If people don't want to give you what you're worth, take that as a sign from God for redirection to something much greater that's in more alignment with you is going to come on your path. You know what I mean? That's why I talk so much about faith as well. Have faith. You'll never be defeated when you're walking in purpose. So, yeah, position yourself. Definitely position yourself.
So, hi, thank you for coming. I love that you're so inspiring. And the fact that you are younger and still forging your path just makes it so much more meaningful for us because it feels attainable as opposed to somebody who's like made it already and it's like some big goal. But I wanted to ask about like your work philosophy and if there's any like specific methodologies that you do or anything that's crucial to your work style.
I love that's a great question. So I would say first and foremost, I write everything down. Everything that I'm trying to manifest, I write it down. That's my number one. That's the foundation of my work philosophy. 2, I'm a student always. I'm constantly learning from other people. I'm learning from y'all in this moment. I'm studying, I'm listening, I'm paying attention, always taking notes. I would say 3, humility. You know what I mean? You don't want to walk into these spaces and again, shoulder shaking when really you're trying to learn, you're trying to grow and take it to the next level. Always, no matter where you're at in your career, there's always something for you to learn from other people. Because when you're younger, you have all the sauce. When you're older, you trying to find the younger people to get to learn what the sauce is now. You know what I mean? So I would say, I said writing down, I said being a student, humility, like I said, being annoying, please. I'm emailing people, please. And always when you get to that point, again, I know everyone is at different parts of their career and maybe we're still interning, maybe we're still learning, but ask for your worth. Don't be afraid to ask for your worth. Don't be afraid to say this is what it costs to have someone like me. Because anyone who really honors and respects what you do has no problem with that. So I would say that's definitely my philosophy. And just connecting with people. And like I said in my quote earlier, making people feel good, being intentional about the energy that you bring into the room, being a light in places and allowing people to really connect with who you are. And that doesn't mean, you have to overshare or anything of that nature, but just really connect. How was your day? Hi, how are you doing? My name is Madison Star Brim. You know what I mean? I'm like, be conversational, be well nuanced in your conversation, and practice and do your research, especially in this industry. And especially too, as Black people, we always going to test each other like, oh, so do you know, or do your homework, like, so know who you're talking to, what they've done, and then also be able to bring that up in conversation. Like, wow, Mr. Hilton, I thought it was really dope when you did something that you probably wouldn't have thought that you knew about her. You want to just really be on your P's and Q's and operate in excellence. That to me is like the operate in excellence, Madison's version of operating in excellence. Writing it down, being humble. What else did I say? Being a student, doing your research, and asking for your worth. I don't think you could go wrong with those things.
Thank you. And I love how before you said being specific is so important because I do feel that my word is powerful, but sometimes I'm not specific enough, so I don't get exactly what I asked for. So being specific is definitely something that I'm trying to work on. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, be specific. When you're praying too, or if you're into that, I don't know. I told you I'm a woman of faith. I'm always gonna push that because you could practice whatever. Prayer is universal. You want to be specific when you speaking to God. You're like, listen, this is what I want. You know what I mean? Because you will create that in your life. You will. So that's also why in the earlier, just to connect it all back, as I love to do, that's also why in the earlier conversation, around women and are we getting enough credit and stuff like that, it's like, our focus shouldn't be in the lack. Our focus should be in what we're trying to create. You see how that's a perspective shift? Our focus shouldn't be in what's not happening. Our focus should be in what we're going to create and what we're going to make happen, you know, and we're not going to look for anyone outside of ourselves to create that, you know? So shifting the perspective, not operating in a place of scarcity or lack, but in a place of abundance. If I could have anything in the world right now, what would it be? How would I operate? You know, what would I ask for? Don't limit yourself. Sometimes we don't get specific because we're like, that's not possible. I was just walking around. I remember when I was in DC in my apartment, I would just be like, listen, God, if you could hear me, if anyone could hear me, I want Dapper Dan in my fashion show. I had no clue how it was going to happen and that it was already happening. That's the thing. That's why I brought up what I said about Antoine being at Coach and then getting, and then going to Gucci and then not working out you see what I'm saying? It was already happening. I just had the awareness to notice it. So cultivating that awareness as well. When we start putting things out into the universe, when we start manifesting, we want to be clear on what it is that we're doing with that. How we're using those tools. That's a tool in your toolkit. Prayer, that's a tool in your toolkit. Writing it down, that's a tool in your toolkit. So use that intentionally, you know? And then watch it happen. I know it can be hard. It's like, oh, like it feels kind of up in the air. I'm telling you, I experienced this in my life. Be intentional for a day. Just say, this is what I want. Wake up, pray. This is what I want to create in my day. And watch it manifest. Then write me on Instagram and be like, girl, you told me. I'm going to be waiting. I'm serious. That's my homework for y'all. Be intentional for the day. Wake up, pray, be intentional. What are you trying to create? It could be a feeling. It could be a moment. And then come back to me and tell me if it happened. And hold your intention too. Don't be washed away with negativity, please. It's like we have enough negativity on this earth to last up for 400 years, girl.
So my name is Phil. I'm from DC, by the way, but I go to FIT. You like go about like, you know, keeping that forward of like, you know, also representing like where you're from and then like taking that somewhere else and then like, you know, just, you know, being true to yourself and just keeping on with what you stand for, because sometimes like that get hard for me of like trying to, you know, put on my professional and then like, you know, kick back and relax. Like it's so many different waves of that it's so hard to like navigate.
Well, I would say the first thing is first, like not everyone's not your friend. So you don't want to lead with your, with the way that you would lead with your friends, right? The way that I'm talking to y'all, like y'all are my friends. Would I be in front of Antoine like this? Probably not.
Right.
You know, just out of respect for who he is in his position and what he's done, right? And so when you're trying to make those connections, it's and here's the thing. Now, probably he's been a mentor to me and a friend to me for some time. So yeah, but just to give y'all perspective, right? If I was still at that base level with him, no. And I would say you allow those relationships to develop if they deepen and for you to share more of who you are and to be more relaxed. But you always, like I said, operate in excellence, put your best foot forward. And that doesn't mean be stiff or whatever. No, still be, you know, you have a great personality, you have a great smile, be you, lead you. You know, I lived in DC for 4 years. I love DC. Lead with that flavor and that swag. You know what I'm saying? Chocolate City, I already know. So lead with that. But also, again, remember, these are professional spaces.
Yes.
These are professional spaces that you're looking to work in. So it's not always going to be the time to be relaxed. It's not always going to be the time to be, you know, keying with people. And you want to stay away from anything like gossip or talking about people, or anything of that nature. Stay far away from that. Keep it about the work. And then when those outside relationships occur and they flourish, allow them to do so. But it'll feel natural. It'll feel natural, but don't try to force it though. Because again, not everyone's your friend, and people want to trust that you're going to get the job done. Let them trust in that first, and then maybe we could talk about getting a drink after or getting some food. You know what I mean? Or that will develop naturally over time. But just take your time with that. Feel it out. Don't be afraid to, again, be who you are. Be your authentic self, but also remember, like, okay, what is my intentions in this conversation? What are my intentions in knowing this person in this meeting, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You definitely want to just be intentional with that. And you know, it'll play out as it should. It will. It really will.
You got to keep doing what you're doing. You feel me? You got to keep on grinding. You got to keep your eye on the the end of the day, what y'all doing it for is deeper than money. It's deeper than fame. This is what your purpose is as a person. And this is why God made you to contribute. You feel me? It's